This is Mr. Everything, and in this video I wanted to do an update for 2024 for Mint Mobile. For the most part it's remained the same, but there is one huge change that they were acquired by Tmobile. To start off, as it's always been with Mint Mobile, is they're an MVNO, or at least they were, of Tmobile, which means they use Tmobile's towers. And your whole experience with them will come down to your reception, your coverage with Tmobile. Now that they're owned by T-Mobile, I guess technically they're, a first party now. I don't fully understand. I don't know too many details about it, which I'll get into a bit more here in a moment. But as far as the pricing and what you can get, that's the first thing I want to talk about. I've been with Mint Mobile since 2017. Um, I let my first plan run out. I was happy with it. Prior to that, I used Straight Talk. Back then, you could use any carrier you wanted with Straight Talk, and I had decided that T-Mobile worked the best, but then I noticed Mint Mobile offered a better price. Then after I let that plan expire 2018, I re-upped, and I've kept that account since then. I've never really had any issues with Mint Mobile. The only time, again, maybe some lack of coverage, but that's T-Mobile in my area. As far as Mint, I've never really had issues. The prices have always been good. They've basically only given you more for the same price. They have added a few new plans that cost more, but for the most part, it's still one of the most competitive services. And if you're in a good T-Mobile area, which to even get to this part of the page, you have to do a coverage check. And I have 5G. That's also a thing with Mint, that you get 5G. It's included. I would imagine most other carriers, even third parties and stuff, probably also offer 5G at no additional cost. But I can guarantee you, because my phone gets 5G pretty much all the time. So here on the website, there's a few things. Now this is a new customer offer. So if you're going to sign up, which I'll provide a link if you want to use mine, I think you get like a bit of a discount, and then I get a bit of a discount as well. But this is a limited time offer when you sign up. But for now, just ignore that. Go with the regular price here. So your cheapest plan is $15 a month. There's the 3-month plans, which they're advertising here. You can also do 6-month and 12-month. Again, for your first month or your first time, I maybe would recommend the 3-month if you don't know how well T-Mobile works in your area. If you do know that T-Mobile works in your area, the 12-month is by far the way to go because you get the lowest price. But again, as you can see with this introductory offer, you could go with just 3-month and you get this discounted $15 for this first month, or this first plan for your 3-month. So to describe that, you have 5, 15, and 20 gigabyte tiers. I believe in the past, they might have been 2, 5, and 10, or 3, 5, and 10, and then they've all gotten, they've stayed at the same price but increased the amount, which is very needed. Just how it is now, there's so much more. Files are bigger, updates are bigger, just the content on the web is bigger. So for me, the 20 gigabytes the sweet spot. And there is the unlimited, which I'll touch on again in a second. But as you can see here, they're doing the monthly price here is higher because I think that's maybe not the 12-month. The 12-month, again, is what I would recommend if you are happy with it. You can see there's no fees as far as activation or anything. There's just these, and there's no contract either. So you could cancel at any time, but it would make sense to use it until the end of your plan. And it does not qualify for the ACP. Some other carriers do. So unfortunately, I don't even think T-Mobile at all. I think maybe Metro might, but none of the actual T-Mobile brands beyond that do. But I actually think the ACP hasn't been renewed anyway. I think it's ending very soon. So if you're going to go with an affordable plan, Mint may be worth it if you have T-Mobile. You can see here, I'll touch on eSIM too. I recently upgraded my phone and switched to eSIM. It worked well. It's not as streamlined as, I guess, how Apple does it, but all you have to do is basically install the app and it converts over very easily. Now the unlimited plan is quite good too. I believe it's, if I go to details, it'll say 40 gigabytes, and then after that you start to slow down, you get a throttled speed. But then there's another plan beyond that called unnecessary. I think it's a 60 gigabyte cap, and then after that, then your speed slow down. So again, maybe that's a T-Mobile thing, that they're trying to offer some higher priced tiers, but they are keeping the lower priced tiers. So if they want to add those, that's really not that big of a deal, because as long as they still offer that nice 15, 20, $25 lower tiers, it'll cover both ends of the spectrum, which is really nice. And just to touch a bit more on the T-Mobile acquisition, I believe it was about a year ago, and you'll notice like nothing has changed up until now. I'm not sure if it's just because I don't think it's really gone through until right around now. That's why they just sent out this email. And I don't know if they will change, which if they're smart, I think they'll just kind of keep it different. And one other thing I'll touch on, a bit of a tangent, is I've noticed all carriers have done this, which I really don't like. Straight Talk, Total, TracFone, Visible, they're all owned by Verizon now. I used to use Straight Talk, but they're a little more expensive. But I don't like that they're all locked to Verizon. I think Cricket, I don't know about Boost, but some of those are now AT&T, T-Mobile. They have Metro, now they have Mint Mobile, and then they acquired Sprint. But at least as far as me, like, Sprint was always terrible. And in my area, the few Sprint towers that T-Mobile owns, they're good, and so I assume they upgraded them. So that merger may have been a good thing, but I really don't like that all these smaller MVNOs are all being brought under the big three again: T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. So I really don't like that. I just don't like it. Seems like a monopoly to me. I liked 5 to 10 years ago when there was so many different options, and again, Mint was the standout one in my opinion, especially for a T-Mobile. They were the best that they offered, minus the first party T-Mobile, which you'd pay way more for. But in this email, they talk about the main issue that I was concerned with was they would raise their prices, but you can see they're not changing that. Again, over time, will they increase the prices? It's possible. I think it's more likely that they'll just add higher data tiers or more features that they'll try and hope you'll sign up for. But as long as they keep that bottom $15 plan a month, I think that's really good. You are getting this new scam screener or spam, but I'm not sure how that works. I know in the past with Mint, there would be sections for like 6 months or a years ago, where I would just get wrong number, like spam calls, one after the other every day, and I would block them, and it would just keep going on for like a few weeks or something. Then it would ease up. Then like a month later, it happened again. Well, in the last year or two, I really haven't had that happen at all. So I'm thinking maybe it's already been improved, but hopefully that makes it even better. And then you have free roaming in Canada. So that doesn't really pertain to me, but if you're in Canada, that's an advantage. But for me, there are a few spots, not where I live or work, but if I'm traveling or doing something, where I don't get data. And as far as I know, there is no roaming for Mint, unless you can pay for it. So it would be nice if they offered just a small roaming plan for free, like they do with Canada for all Mint users. But that's kind of beyond the point. I just wanted to mention that as well. So I wanted to switch things up now. I'm showing the phone. The phone is what has Mint Mobile on it. So let me disconnect from my Wi-Fi, and now I'm on 5G here with Mint. The first thing I'll talk about is eSIM. It is compatible with eSIM. When I signed up for that last plan in 2018, they send you an activation kit that has a SIM card in it, and then you're ready to go, but you gotta wait for that to come in the mail. So with the new phones that I would imagine, I know all iPhones do eSIM, I would imagine it's just instantly you get the eSIM when you activate your plan, and you can just use it right away. And I'm obviously sure that you can still get a physical SIM too in addition to that. But for me, it was kind of the opposite. I had the physical SIM, and when I upgraded to the 15 Pro Max, when you update, Apple basically tells you there's like a little pop-up, kind of like, you get those little pair pop-ups, and it was saying to switch to eSIM, and it said Mint Ultra isn't supported with the Apple transition. Well, it's very simple. It's just, I guess, just the way they're not as big of a company or something. You just download the Mint Mobile app. You have to have your plan activated and your account set up. Then you sign into that app, and you just go to the eSIM thing, and you basically create one. I think you're allowed so many, maybe, I don't want to say exactly, but you're allowed a certain amount for free, like maybe 3 of them in a certain time period. And then after that, then you'd have to pay for additional ones. So I just went into the app, created the eSIM, and then it instantly worked. I don't know if the phone restarted or not, but I mean, it was exactly the same as it would be if a physical SIM. I had no issues. So it is supported by eSIM, but you do have to do it through their app. And one thing I don't like is I don't like how they put that splash screen on there. It kind of delays things a bit. So you can see here your mobile data usage. Again, I'm on the 20 gigabyte plan, but I've used others in the past. So you go up here, you can turn on auto renewal on or off. But if you go to change plan, this is from my view as a customer. So once you have like that original $15 promotion, this is your regular prices right here. So again, there's that cheap plan, but at the 3-month you pay more. So that's why I recommend after you do that promotion with the 3-month to see if you like it. From then on out, I would recommend the 12 months. That's your cheapest prices. So there's your $15 a month plan, the $20 plan, the $25, the $30, unlimited, and then this new one that popped up a few months ago. And one different thing is how the hotspots work. So on these 3 plans, your 20 gigabyte, you can use all 20 on hotspot if you want it, but then if you use it all on that, then you get reduced down to the slow tier data for the rest of your plan. With the unlimited, it's at 10 gigabytes in the fine print down here. It's a 10 gigabyte hotspot separate. So you have the 40 gigabytes you can use of your data, and then you have a separate 10 gigabyte of hotspot. But if you use that 10 gigabyte of hotspot, then you don't have any more, so you can't use the rest of that 40 for your separate. And then if the unnecessary, it's basically the same thing. You have 20 gigabyte for hotspot, 60, but you can't use that 60 for it. To where these, this 20 gigabyte in some regards is almost better because I can use all 20 of that as the hotspot if I wanted. To where if I go up $5 to this, I'm now limited to 10 gigabyte of hotspot. But for me, most of the time, I'm not using the hotspot that much. So that's why last year I was on unlimited, very happy with it. But this year, I looked monthly. I usually don't use 20 gigabytes of data. Some months I do, but generally I don't. So this year I've been 20 gigabytes a month plan, and I haven't had issue. Again, when T-Mobile takes over, are they going to add some more plans that cost more? They said they're committed to keeping that one, so that's great. Now the 5's a little slim, but I know there are people, you might just use it because I didn't touch on it, but everything now is pretty much unlimited talk and text. So if you just need to do talk and text, you can get that cheap plan. Or if you just use email or Google Maps or something kind of small, you probably would be okay with that basic 5 gigabyte plan. And one thing, again, that Mint has done in the past is they usually do increase these over time. So, 2 years from now, they might be an 8, a 20, and a 25, and hopefully at these same prices. But I don't know that for sure. It's just speaking from what I've noticed in the past. So actually, as I was mentioning with that eSIM, you can order replacement ones, but that would be a physical. If you go to change device, you can order, but then you can get the eSIM here, and you can just do it through the apps. That was how that was done, just this little extra thing to show. That's how I did it there. And I will go ahead and do a speed test. I mean, it's the middle of the day. One thing I'd like to mention is I'm a T-Mobile home internet customer, and in my area, I wasn't too happy. T-Mobile on the phone works great. I get good coverage, and I'm happy with it for a phone. But the internet, the deprioritization, I would have issues with it. And for whatever reason, Mint Mobile would always perform better. They must be, for some reason, higher on the priority list than T-Mobile's home internet when it's deprioritized. Now, in the last few months, I think they've upgraded the tower. I get better speeds. So we'll go ahead and try this. But usually still, I get better speeds with T-Mobile through Mint than I do with T-Mobile home internet natively. Now the latency is a little higher because I'm closer to Pittsburgh. Usually it'll pick the Pittsburgh T-Mobile server, so I'm not sure why sometimes it defaults to Cleveland. But I'm just going to let that go. You can see that's really good numbers. At my other job, I'll get sometimes where they're at, it's kind of more open and less congested. I can get 600-700 megabits down, and that upload, I don't know, it's about as good of an upload as I've ever gotten. So at least for me in my area, T-Mobile has upgraded their towers. So again, I'm not at perfect signal strength here and it is in the middle of the day, so there might be other people on the network. Because remember, again, this is a lower tier compared if I had Tmobile Magenta and I'm getting their priority data. I might get that 600 all the time, but for here, just for using it on my phone, and that'll burn through your data if you're not on an unlimited plan. So that's plenty of speed for me. Just the latency is almost more important at that point, but I don't have any issues with loading content, downloading anything. And one more thing I'll mention is in that fine print where it was saying like the unlimited plans, how many gigabytes you can use, you'll notice that I'll also say data is supported at 480p. Well, at least for my use, I've never haven't noticed that in years. Like, you can do 1080p, you can stream higher than that, at least with YouTube. Now obviously again, you'll be burning through your data quicker, but it doesn't seem to bottleneck it at 480 like it used to. If you tried to do 720p, it would kind of just not buffer and it would be really weird, but it doesn't do that anymore. So at least from what I can tell, I can still watch those HD videos, which I think you should be allowed to. If you want to burn through all your data on one or two 4K videos, that's up to you. So at least that seems to be something, which I'll even show that too. Turn the volume down, Digital Foundry, so it's going to be in HD. So it's right now it's 720, 60, we'll do 1080, 60, and I'll make it buffer, and you can see, so I'm not being bottlenecked here to 1080p, or I mean 480p. Now overkill would be 2160, but with those speeds I was getting, it's obviously capable of that, and you can see. Now this is the highest bandwidth you would need to do 4K 60, but it's buffering it. So I'm really happy with that. I'm not getting a bottleneck at 480p for streaming, at least on YouTube. But I think when I've used Sling and some other apps on T-Mobile 5G, again, there's no bottleneck. So I'm really happy with that. Now, if you have any questions about it, I tried to cover the backstory of me with Mint, no issues. Some people have had issues, I haven't. It's switching to eSIM, the speeds, the different data plans and prices. And the last thing I would like to cover, though, is the refer a friend. So if you would like to sign up, again, I think they have that, evidently from what I could see, that $15 for the first 3-month plan. You can try that. But as you can see here on the refer a friend, and I would recommend, if you're interested, to just check the refer a friend terms and conditions on their website, because they have changed it in the past. But I think you're getting a $15 credit when you sign up and you don't cancel the plan, or I think if you do the trial and then you cancel it, you don't get the credit then, but you can read through all the fine print. But I would recommend, if you want to sign up and you can use my referral link, you'll get a credit and I'll get a credit too, and it'll work great that way too, and we both make out on it, so that's good. Both make out, that's kind of weird. But just keep that in mind if you would like to try to plan out and you're a new user. So again, for me, I'm happy with the app and everything works fine for me. So far, the T-Mobile acquisition, I haven't noticed any changes, and they're saying they're at least bare minimum going to keep that $15 a month plan. So that's great. Again, a lot of the competitors, Straight Talk and stuff, now they're locked to a carrier. They're on Verizon now. So as far as T-Mobile, I think that Mint offers the lowest price and on-par quality with first-party T-Mobile service. And I've been using it for years, and I plan on using it for years to come. I've never had any issues. And if you're looking for it, at least try it out and see what you think. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.